Hey up, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for inviting me into your home. I'm here in my home in Brighton. I can see the windmills at the moment where I am. I've got a view over the sea. You can see the windmills that go around, which are great. You know, sort of green energy. And of course, they're powered by people gasping at the house prices. So I'm going to read you some poems from my new book. This is it, The Distance Between Clouds. And it's my 10th poetry book with Flapjack Press. And I'm so chuffed for Paul and Flapjack Press to do it. Look at that lot. Oh, hey. That's with that one. That's good. There's actually more than that, in that there's like a best of. I'll listen to this one. That's a very best of our back one as well. So I've been busy, and I'm really chuffed. And the first book that I did with Flapjack Press is actually a picture of me. Can you guess where that is? That's Manchester Central Library. So oh, it's very secular. It all comes round, doesn't it? So we did a live press, a live launch. In the Manchester Library for that, and I would be doing a live one if you want for COVID. So I do like writing poetry, and I like reading it and performing it. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to do about 45 minutes, so anybody who wants to watch the football later can grab themselves a cup of tea and watch that. I'm going to start with a bonus track for you. This is not in any book at the moment. This if I do another book, it'll be in that. You know, when there's certain words that only get used in poetry, and a nocturne is one of those words. I mean, it's sort of night scene is basically what it means, but and it's used in music, I know that, but I only ever see it in poetry. And there's a few in the shard, vortex. There's some of these words that don't get, and I thought it's about time. I've written, as you can see, about 800 poems. That I wrote one called Nocturne. So this is that. Not wanting to wake me, you failed to flush the loo. That's okay for a wee, but not so for a poo. So as I say, that's a bonus for you, that one. Now, it may not seem grand, you know, sort of poetry, but you've got to remember that T.S. Eliot is an anagram of toilets. So, you know, it probably all works. It's quite weird when you start working with language. Like you notice Nigel Farage's initials are NF, and Boris Johnson BJ. So you know, a lot of things going on with words. Anyway, I shall crack on with the book. So it's about 110 poems in there. Now I'm obviously not going to read 110 tonight. I shall read about 20. And so you've still got 80, 90 that you can, you know, discover for yourselves. So this is, I was thinking about wearing, I've not got my cardigan on tonight because I'm too hot, but I have been wearing some t-shirts, and I was looking at some t-shirts online, and, you know, I put on a bit of weight in COVID. And I was looking at Slim Fit, and she says to me, she said, it's not Slim Fit you need, mate, it's Slim Fast. I thought, she's probably right. I've eaten that much Toblerone, my poo's starting to go triangular. So I've written a poem called Things I Wouldn't Be Seen Dead In. And this is at the start of the book, page 14. I never wear a onesie. I never wear Crocs. Tank top, flip-flops, sandals with socks. If you see me wearing dungarees, kill me, please. A puffer jacket is in that bracket, but a covering for the face is ace, and makes the chances greater that later someone won't be wearing a ventilator. So worth buying just for that one, I always think, but there you go. Right, let's have a look here, what we got. So the second one, page 17. If you've already got the book, you can turn to page 17 and sing along, like you know, at church or whatever. This is about there's a beach just down there called Ovingdean Beach, and I went there, and I was sat there with my wife and my son, and I was thinking about England because it's very English there, and I was thinking about the way we think about England. I mean, I'm bilingual in that I speak English and Irish American rap, your motherfuckers. So I'm very conscious. I'm actually Irish by descent, so I'm very conscious of things that pertain to England. So this is called low tide. The floor of the English Channel is exposed. My loved ones paddle barefoot in puddles. All around, toddlers and gulls find a new balance. Further out to sea, teenagers dare themselves another step. Sailing ships and even speedboats seem in no hurry today. There's a slight haze, like spilt flour on a blue tabletop. A man in shorts loses himself with a net and a bucket. Behind me, white cliffs stretch out, open arms. Underfoot, the chalk continues south, crowned by seaweed. The myth of our island nation is revealed. We are, as ever, joined to each continent by land. The water just sits on top, reflecting sunlight all the way to the horizon. So I like to write serious poems and funny poems and short poems and long poems and all sorts of things. Sort of like a mixed grill, you know, or a poetry salad with me as a tosser. So this one is about, I've been trying to keep fit. I do exercises with my son Johnny in the afternoon, and so I ordered some dumbbells. So it's about that. I've been trying to, because I'm getting older, I've been trying to keep my body moving. Because you know, when I used to dance when I was younger, I'd click my fingers and dance. And these days when I dance, all my joints click. So you know, you've got to keep moving. So this is called a long wait. Dumbbells that arrived yesterday, delivered to my door, still sit there today. I can't lift them off the floor. That's a little ditty. Don't all have to be long. This is another little ditty for you. The easing of restriction. I noticed as soon as the restrictions were eased, there were like huge queues at Primark. I don't know whether you noticed that. So this is about that. Sizable queues at Primark, asking what they'd charge to exchange medium clothes now needed in extra large. So that's that one. And we'll spin on. Oh, we're going to get through loads here, aren't we? There we go. So people have been saying that we're all in the same boat with COVID, and I don't think that's true. I think we're all in the same storm, but not all in the same boat. It's a little poem about that. A second boat amid the storm shouldn't sail too close. Waves are harsh enough without a clash of bows. A second boat amid the storm shouldn't drift in the dark. You may be their only salvation. They may be yours. So it's been a bit of a trial into going through COVID, and I'm sure we've all gone through various stages. And there was a stage when I was a little bit bored. I'm not now. We're starting to, you know, ease up and things are moving along and changing. But I wrote this poem then, and it's called Ennui Normal. That's E-N-N-I-U, Ennui Normal. Little play on words there. It's got some great rhymes in this, so do enjoy. It's a weird thing about change, isn't it? That we'll seek out constant change. And I was thinking some things change fast and some things change slowly. And some things you realise are changing fast only afterwards. I remember inkwells at school. Can you remember inkwells? Now, when I was a kid, when I was about 5, I arrived at, you know, like sort of junior school, and there were inkwells. There were an hole in the desk to put your ink. Now, even then, I mean, I'm quite old, but even then we didn't have ink. We had biros. We had little biros that looked like quilts. They were made to look, they had like a long tail. You know, I think trying to ease us into this modern technology. And I was thought, why is that inkwell there? Anyway, when I left school, when I was like after A levels, when I left school in 1978, they still had these holes in the desk. And I always thought that was like the epitome of something where nobody had made a change. We didn't need the hole, you know, we stick some chewing gum down it or something, but didn't need the hole. And then my wife Ange, when she left, in 1987, there were still those holes there. Mind you, that was Peterborough, you know, and they've only just stopped using leeches as school pets. Anyway, this is called Aren't We Normal? Enjoy the rhymes. Boring bears exploring. Insipid sends my soul a-soaring. Lethargy fills me with glee. Tedium is my cup of tea. An absence of oomph, a veritable triumph. Prosaic is my Prozac. Predictable, my pure grain crack. Irksome, can work some. Tiresome, can inspire some. Listless, I couldn't resistless. Lifeless, my troubles existless. Ponderous, I find wondrous. Drab and dreary, fab and cheery. A lull is never dull. A lack of sparkle, sans debacle. Lackluster deserves all the energy I can muster. Jejune floats my balloon. Mind numbing, I find becoming. A life unleaden would be Armageddon. Who don't like samey is cockamamie. So I love messing with rhymes, and I love using I language, you know, and bits of French and Latin and whatever, together with you know, sort of daft English words as well. It makes for a poem that's not been written before. So nice to try and be original if you can. So I spend a bit of time in my garden, and I do like a bit of nature. What we're doing to nature is quite weird. I said to Ange the other day, we're talking about green issues. I don't know if you voted today, but do go out and vote if you'll have a chance after this, if you can. We have a green candidate down here. We're very, very green in Brighton. And I was saying to Ange, if Earth was on Tinder, and the human race had put their profile up, they'd scroll left. And you know, I was trying to make a valid point, but Ange just said that Tinder makes her think of wood. And then she giggled for about an hour. Anyway, this is a little poem called Hyacinth by Any Other Name Would Smell as Sweet, obviously from the Shakespearean A Rose by Any Other Name Would Smell as Sweet. These hyacinths aren't tall, though with colour all are blessed. Lower synths at best. So let's see how we go. Right. Now, we've been eating well in the, here's Ange. Ange, come say hello.
Oh no, I've got no makeup on.
Come say, well, you've got no makeup on. I've got no makeup on either. Hello. There you go. Angie's getting Johnny's pudding. It's pudding time. So we're talking about food, weren't we? Before we're so rudely interrupted. I don't know whether you noticed, I've got, I think it's there, a spot in my 60s. How about that? That's me empathising with the students. This is a poem about vegetables, which we're supposed to eat more of, and we try to eat lots of vegetables. In fact, we try to be very efficient with food. Down here, they've got a little experiment at the moment. You know how I say we're quite green. They've got this thing where you've got a separate bin for your waste food. And the idea is that you put you put your paper and wood in one bin, and then you put your general rubbish in another bin. And then in a separate bin, you put all your waste food. And what they do is they gather it all up, and they go to a factory, and they compress it all into like sort of a big blob of unwanted organic waste. And I think that's how Piers Morgan was formed. Anyway, this is called 5 a day. I can do it in 4. Some great rhymes, so settle back and enjoy. I'm told they're good for you, essential for salad and stew. So make a pledge to eat more veg. But not courgette, not yet, and not even for a bet. Broccoli, not for me. If you plan lettuce, you can forget us. Beetroot, don't suit. Watercress does not impress. Butternut squash just won't wash. Aubergine tastes obscene. Kidney, broad and mung bean. Runner, lima and split all taste shit. Sweet potato or yam, no thank you ma'am. Brussels and alfalfa sprout, leave it out. Radish tastes baddish. Black-eyed and chickpeas, I won't be eating any of these. You can include cucumber in that number. No parsnips will pass my lips. No cauliflower in my lunch hour. Artichoke and asparagus, beyond a joke, do spare us. Celery, don't look well on me. Cabbage does me damage. Garlic makes me sick. I won't be plumbing for pumpkin. Chard I find hard. Spinach, just binage. I'm concentrating on spuds and the odd pea or carrot. Maybe a variety of onion, but that's shallot. So what I like to do, see, I like to, it takes me about an hour to write a poem like that. And to be honest with you, it's a fun hour. And I escape from all my other troubles. So it's good fun to mess around and play with words. The other thing I like to do is I like to look at the say nature and look at the stars. We get a very big view of the stars over the sea, and I sort of ponder the idea of the universe and whether there's a multiverse. Sometimes, you know, universe is not quite big enough, is it? You know, it's one thing I like about poems. They sort of make my world a bit bigger. You know, the imagination can make the world bigger. I'd like there to be a multiverse. It'd be weird if there was. There's probably some universe out there where Nigel Farage is not a twat. You never know. The possibilities are endless. So I was thinking about the North Star, and there's been poems written to the North Star by Shakespeare and Spenser, and it's a sort of the epitome of something solid to hang on to, because the thing about us spinning in space is there's nothing solid to hang on to. But the more I looked into it, the more I found out about the North Star. It's not as steadfast as previously advertised. This is called Lodestar. Polaris is only true north when constellations align. It shone brighter and not so bright, and despite Shakespeare, was never constant. Despite Spenser, was never steadfast. Earlier generations were steered by other stars. Future souls will seek guidance elsewhere. There's no fixed point in the heavens. It's only that a human life is so short and human longing so vast. This is I'm getting old, as you can see, and I thought I'd write a poem about that. And I use Facebook a lot. I hope you'll join me on Facebook and Twitter. It's very easy to find me. It's just Henry Normal. It might be Henry Normal Poet. Yeah, Henry Normal Poet. To distinguish me from all those other Henry Normals out there. I did actually get a letter once, strangely enough, from Africa saying that someone with my name had died, and because I had the same name, I could access their bank account if I sent them like a couple £100, and the name they put down was Henry Normal. Quite weird, isn't it? The idea of an African called Henry Normal. I didn't believe it, strangely enough. So I've written a poem called Less Hip, More Hip Replacement, and I put it up on Twitter and Facebook. And when I put it up, some people came back with better lines than I had, to be honest with you. One was less Metallica, more sciatica, less Brian Ferry, more Bristol cream sherry. And another one was less Brian Ferry, more Brittany Ferries. And I thought, well, I best up my game. So this is version 2. Here we go. Less Michael Stipe, more Slippers and Pipe. Less Ramones, more Aching Bones. Less Nirvana, more Bramwith Sultana. Less Linkin Park, more Blinking in the Dark. Less AC/DC, more Feeling Queasy. Less Sex Pistols, more Ealing Crystals. Less Iggy Pop, more Lager Top. Less Jimi Hendrix, more Twin Tub Bendix. I was particularly pleased with that line, I must confess. Less Motorhead, more sourdough bread. Less Whitesnake, more organic wheat flake. Less Axl Rose, more Waitrose. Less Pink Floyd, more Easily Annoyed. Less Van Halen, more Senses Failing. Less Foo Fighters, more Early Nighters. Less Kings of Leon, more Pants with We On. Less Eric Clapton, more Pants You've... probably had enough of that poem anyway. So I put this new one up, and then people came back with the other lines, and there were some great ones. Less Clint Boone, more Mills and Boone, and my favourite, less Iron Maiden, more Cream Teas Laid On. So they were great ones. What's next? Let's have a look. Let us not bury those merely sleeping. So this one I wrote before spring arrived. Now spring has arrived, for those of you who have not looked outside. It's still cold, and we're just getting April showers, aren't we now, in May, which is a bit weird. But I wrote this before it had arrived, so it's about February. Let us not bury those merely sleeping. Chilled by a pale blue light, it's easy to believe that spring will never come, that frost has killed the seeds, that we're lost in the void, forsaken. But even in the darkest night, Earth spins upon its axis, and even in the coldest hour, it moves along its orbit until we tilt towards the sun once more. So we're whizzing through, aren't we? I've actually put an advert for the book in the book, just in case somebody's browsing through and thinks, shall I buy it? And what's in it? You know, when you buy stuff these days, there's always these little sort of things like biodegradable or non-biological or whatever. And I was thinking that some of my poems fit into these categories. So I wrote this. It's called This Poem Is. The title is reminiscent of that I used to see in newspapers. It used to say Love Is, and then it'd be a cartoon. So this poem is: locally sourced, energy efficient, ethnically resourced, self-sufficient. Environmentally friendly, biodegradable, carbon neutral, fully sustainable. Best before date on the lid. RRP, 10 quid. May contain the word nuts. Just did. This is it's another one of those rhyming poems. One of the saving graces for COVID is spending more time in bed, and I've enjoyed my sleep. And this is a poem called Those Little Slices of Death, which is a phrase from Edgar Allan Poe. And that's what he called sleep. Thought it was rather a nice one. I live to sleep, count endless sheep, drift off deep without a peep. Life is all filler till you dent your pillar. So get some kip, let eyelids slip. Hypnos worships where it's hip. Hunker down, be less awake. Up and about's a big mistake. Hit the hay, for heaven's sake. Don pajamas, dream of the Bahamas, chase moonbeams and forget all dramas. Quit your yap, put on your nightcap, fall back in your sack and nap. Perfect slumber's my number one. Zed's in the bed, is second to none. Choose to snooze if you feel dozy. The arms of Morpheus are real cozy. Somnolence, sorry, I'll say that again. Somnolence makes perfect sense. Let the REMs commence. Never shrink from 40 winks, sinking into lengthy blinks. Enjoy a resta, nice siesta. That's the best advice, methinks. Consciousness is overrated. The Sandman's got to be celebrated. I get grisly when I've not hibernated. My circadian clock is all to cock. Time that I was counting flock. Sod reality, that's all behind me. The land of Nod, that's where you'll find me. So I've been having a lot of fun with words. I'm writing my next radio show. I don't know whether you listen to me on radio. Every about 8 months, I have a radio show on BBC Radio 4. And the last one was a normal communication. And I think it's still up there on BBC Sounds. And I think you can probably find, I've done about 7. I think you can find all of them at various times for free up there. So the next one's going to be called A Normal Aging. So I've been working on some stuff for aging. And I thought I'd find out about immortality. You know, if you didn't age, what it would be. And there is a creature that that doesn't age. It's like a worm. It's called an hydra. You can look it up on Wikipedia, which is what I did. And this is called The Secret of Eternal Youth. Obviously, when I say life, it doesn't have much of a life, to be honest with you, as a wiggly worm, but it goes on forever. So I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. Anyway, The Secret of Eternal Youth. To be immortal, like the hydra, the path could not be plainer. The organism is literally a no-brainer. Is it a coincidence this genus resembles a penis? So people have tried to become immortal and they've tried to find an elixir of eternal youth. And one of those people was the first emperor of China. So I thought I'd write a little poem to him or about him. The first emperor of China, trying to avert his last breath, took mercury, which inadvertently somewhat hastened his death. That's a nice little ditty there. I like the rhyme of China and Trina as a little, you know, sort of internal rhyme. So I do like doing these radio shows, and they let me do what I want, which is nice, providing I don't swear too much and you know, say you know, awful things, which obviously I don't. There is a chap who checks it, and his name, this is truthfully, his name is Roger, which I thought was a great name for somebody who checks whether you're having sexual references in there. Roger Mebottom. No, it's not Roger McBottom. It's Roger Mahoney, which is almost as bad. So what have we got next? Ah, yes. How are we doing for time? 1929. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. This is called Ladders of Divine Ascent. So I get a lovely view out of my window of the sky over the sea, and I was looking out one day, and the sunlight was coming through the clouds, and they call them Jacob's ladders, I think is one of the terms from. So I looked up Jacob's ladder and on Wikipedia. It's my best friend, and I wrote this poem, Ladders of Divine Ascent. Light tilts from the clouds like an alien abduction. Snow threatens as smoke rises from neighbouring roofs. On this ordinary morning, set mostly in monochrome, spotlit, the sea shines silver. The winter sky stretches wider, whilst earthbound, I concede to wonder and dream of angels. So I love that nature is surprises you, and is not, you can't fit it in a box in the way you can man-made things. What I've noticed, there's no straight lines in nature. Everything's complicated, and even human beings. I mean, Epictetus, the great Greek philosopher, said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. And I thought, yeah, that's quite a good way of looking at it. And, you know, the human body is quite well adapted to nature. But then my wife Ange pointed out that men do have 2 testicles and 1 brain, and 2 eyes and 1 penis. So perhaps not intelligent design after all. So this is called The Earth is Not a Perfect Circle. And this is me in my back garden. Afternoon sun strikes the rear of my house at an oblique angle. The shadow of an open window becomes a trapezoid. Seen from the garden, these geometric lines contrast with the shapes of life. Poppies form a ragtag family. Ornamental thistles bend with different curves. Although hundreds of individuals, lavender in the mid-distance displays as a single unit. This brick facade is regulation. The foliage, handcrafted by nature, with little interest in symmetry. No stretch of grass is truly even. Equations underlying even a single blade, too complex to calculate. So I did a poem about greens earlier, and I'm not sure whether potatoes are 1 in your 1 in 5, but potatoes seem to be more easily to eat than the rest of the greens. So I thought I'd celebrate them. This is called All Eyes on the Potato. So enjoy the rhymes. Here we go. A simple spud tastes so good, there's none greater than the tater. I mean, some of the rhymes you could probably predict. You know, I'll go a little bit slower and see if you can catch them. Here we go. This tuber is uber. King Edward and Jersey Royal, peeled or washed, free from soil, ready to fry in oil, bake or boil. Whether you call it a pomme de terre or any nom de guerre, to say it will flatter any platter is only fair. I even like potato cakes and patties, always welcome on my welcome matties, the aristocrat that is, tatties. Every jacket in the upper bracket, I've never met a croquette yet that I regret. Dauphinois or Hasselback, vertility in a sack, spuds never lack, the power pack snack in the veggie sack. Skins and crisps have got their glitz, pommes frites I love to bits, and though little can eclipse chips, those French fries don't take top prize. Neither crinkle cut nor straight, rate as potentate of the plate. Nevertheless, they do just edge the potato wedge. The ash brown doesn't take the crown, mash doesn't take the sash. I like roasties, the mosties. Did you get any of those? It's lovely fun. Give me a rhyming dictionary and a thesaurus, and I'm an happy man. So I tried to write in all sorts of forms, and it's been nice that some people have used my poems at weddings and at baptisms and at funerals. I've written a little poem about form. It's called Good Form. I adore a ditty, the odd cleru. I love a comic limerick too. They work fine most of the time, though for a funeral they seldom do. I wrote a poem to Trump when he was going, because he seemed to be hanging on, didn't he, for quite a while. I did enjoy the fact that when he finally left, I don't know whether you remember this, it's quite bizarre, surreal really. When he actually went to get on the plane, Air Force One, the DJ, God bless him, played YMCA. Of all the tunes, he could have played YMCA. I mean, I know he's been thrown out of the White House, but it's not like he got nowhere to go to. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Bizarre. And I mean, you can't see him being a big fan of the Village People, can you? No, I can't see him hanging with them lads, but there you go. That's what it was. So I wrote this poem to him when he wouldn't go out, he wouldn't concede. It's called Fare Thee Well. Time to go, so cheerio. Don your chapeau and blow. Take a hike, get on your bike, hasta la vista, see you mister, pick any exit you like. Make your excuse, it's your caboose, bon voyage, time to vamoose. Ta-ta, toodaloo, sayonara, adieu, ciao, take a bow, bugger off now. Be gone, do one, as they say in Manchester. I wouldn't go as far as to say au revoir, nor TTFN, nor Auf Wiedersehen. And so that you're sure, and to avoid any doubt, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Right, we're going near the end. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Let's have a look. How are we doing? 37, yep, okay. This is based on the Paul Simon song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And this is called 15 Ways to Leave Your Lockdown. I couldn't think of 50, so I thought of 15. Here we go. 15 ways to leave your lockdown. Get the vaccine, Maxine. Get the Pfizer, Eliza. Get your shot, Dot, before you cannot. Get your jabs, Babs. Get your AstraZeneca, Annika. Inoculate, Kate. Don't hesitate. Get your Johnson & Johnson, Bronson. Get it in your vein, Lorraine. Immunize, guys. Don't pay no attention to lies. Get your Moderna, Werner. Get it in your capillary, Hillary. It's just a prick, Mick, so don't get sick. Curtail your virus, Cyrus. Stop the disease, Louise. Vaccinate, Nate, before it's too late. So, where are we? Ah, yes. I loved coming up to Manchester to the Salford Quays Theatre. I did a lovely show there, and I'm coming to Manchester for my tour quite a bit. I'm in Sale. In fact, I'm on sale in Sale. Darwin, which I think people can pronounce Darren, don't they? Darwin, Darren, like as in Darwin Day and the cricketer Darwin Gough. Darren, anyway, Darren or Darwin. I'm coming there, and Bury. I'm coming to Wigan and Liverpool and Chester. So a lot of places around the northwest. Come to all of them. We'll have some fun, or at least come to one of them anyway. That would be great. This is a poem I wrote whilst at the Lowry. I'm a big fan of Lowry himself, and of course we all think of his landscape paintings, but he actually painted portraits as well. So I'll give him a little bit of a tribute to that. It's called Tut Realism. L.S. Lowry painted under Salford skies landscapes of tender gloom, and northern portraits so good the pies seem to follow you around the room. Right. Now this is a poem. I was folding bedclothes with my son Johnny in the afternoon, and it reminded me of folding bedclothes with my mum when I was little. And so it sort of took me back in time, not in a way like the film Tenet. You know, I didn't travel backwards through time, fight with myself, and confuse the fuck out of everyone. Just for a moment, I was back in time, folding with my mum. Now I know Seamus Heaney did a brilliant poem about folding. It's probably not as brilliant, but has some worth to me. Folding. A corner in each hand, we shake the sheet, place edges together and repeat. Move forward, move towards each other till both ends meet. A domestic dance for hands and feet. A meditation, making bedding neat. A chore, but more a ritual treat. A task shared, perhaps bittersweet. So as I say, I'm getting older. You can tell you're getting older because you start forgetting things. My sister Linda tells me that she can remember all the words to Bohemian Rhapsody, but can't remember why she came in the kitchen. So I've written a poem called Fop. Fop is a fucking old person, apparently, in slang. Fop, F-O-P. Fop, but not ready to drop. Here we go. Today, I'm retro, not dead yet though. Old school, easy to ridicule, an old codger, a coffin dodger, a walking fossil, my age, colossal. Over the hill, landfill, but here still, and hard to kill. An has-been, but evergreen, retired, but not expired, decrepit, but not ready to quit. A crone, but not quite prone, vintage, almost out of printage. Infirm, but going full term. Heading for the sunset, not done with the fun yet. Golden, still able to hold 'em. Time tested, but not yet vested. Experience rich, not dead in a ditch. Feeling my age, not leaving the stage. On a slippery slope, but not without hope. Thanks. And we're coming to the last one, which is brilliant timing, I've got to say. So I hope you'll join me on some of the live tour. I hope you'll buy the books from Flapjack. If you buy them from anywhere else other than Flapjack, like Amazon, then if you put me a review up on Amazon, then I'll forgive you for being a supporter of people who don't pay the tax, but that'll be nice. I've got some reviews for some of the books. They're all very nice. I don't think I've got any bad ones. I do take Samuel Goldwyn's opinion on critique. He says, pay no attention to critics, don't even ignore them. So I've got some more Zooms, some free Zooms. I don't know if anybody saw me yesterday Wednesday noon, but I did the first of 10 Zooms that I'm doing. They're all free. And they're for the Nottinghamshire libraries, because I started writing in libraries in Nottinghamshire, the Central Library in Nottingham, and I've used libraries all my life. And the Central Library in Manchester, when I didn't have any work, and I was living in Manchester for about 10 years before the television started, and I got involved with that. I'd sit up there writing poems. So some of my early poems were written in Manchester Library. So I'm very keen to support the libraries. So I'm doing hopefully some more Zooms for Manchester libraries later in the year. But for the next 10 Wednesdays, I'm interviewing 10 local poets to Nottingham. They're reading some poems, I'm reading some poems, we're having a laugh, having a chat and some jokes, and we're taking questions from the audience. So you can send me a question in and I'll try to answer it. I am regularly on Twitter and Facebook, so please do post something up and say hello and give me a reaction to today. That would be nice. This is my last poem, and it's the title poem of the book, which is The Distance Between Clouds. The reason I call the book The Distance Between Clouds is that whenever I look at the sky and there's clouds, I always look at how long the sun's got before it's going to disappear. I look at the distance between the clouds. It's sort of more positive than looking at the rain, as it were. I look at where it's not going to rain, anyway, so that was the thinking behind that. So this is my last poem. Thank you ever so much if you've lasted, and for staying with me and for joining in. And I hope to see you soon in better times, shall we say. This is called The Distance Between Clouds. I have very little that I can say to you, my friend. I can only offer a gentle reminder to listen to your child. Look upon the face of the sea in all weathers and put your arms around those you love. Very little, but everything.